whose responsibility is it to take care of the child and to take care of the parents? Whose responsibility is it?
Parents, and I'm speaking based off of the fact that the parents are in the child's life. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's from the angle that I will be speaking from, not from the parents that are not in the child's life.
Right.
From the parents that
no
are in the
African mentality or no
No,
African.
I will.
Or you're putting that as well.
No, I will be speaking in general.
Okay.
So you understand?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Just, I mean, my argument is based off of my own experience. I don't know about somebody else's experience, but from my experience and the way my parents have brought me up, they were in my life all throughout the time before they died. So I can technically and categorically tell you right now that the responsibility lies on the child to take care of his or her parents when they grow old and weary. Okay. Now, I don't understand why a lot of people might just say, within. I was seeing some comments, right? That was really even what brought me up. Somebody like, oh, the child did not beg to be here. The child did not beg to be alive. But come to think about it, the fact remains that you're here. You understand? You didn't beg your parents to send you to school, but do you appreciate that school that you went to now? Has it not helped you? Has it not shaped you to become who you are?
Yes.
If your parents have decided not to send you to school and you become an illiterate, your options to become successful in life will be very limited to your talents. So whether or not you decide to come to life, that is a 21st century woke conversation into becoming somebody or something that you are in life. The least you could do is reciprocate that energy, you know, and try to take care of them, look after them. Even their spirit, by the time they die and they are in their grave, their spirit will be happy with you. That at least I didn't die in vain. You understand that kind of thing? You don't want your parents to die. You don't want your parents to die. Let's hear where do you stand on this? You know, whose responsibility is it to take care of their parents when they're old?
Parents supposed to make retirement plan for themselves. Parents supposed to make plans for themselves and not stress their children, please.
Wow.
Please, that's my that's my opinion. It doesn't mean you shouldn't look at.
Oju, your mom is watching this live.
And that's all right. And I tell her all the time.
It doesn't mean you shouldn't look out for them. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do what you should do for them. But every parent should make retirement plan for themselves and don't stress the children that are just coming up.
Wow.
You know, if you are not setting up, I mean, we should set up our kids.
I think you guys should have said this when you were growing up. If God had given us that opportunity to be able to talk like this when we were young, maybe if we had said this same thing to our parents, given us that opportunity to be able to talk like this when we were young, maybe if we had said this same thing to our parents,
who born you were to talk about? Even now that we are grown, we still cannot say it.
Right?
No, what I'm saying is we should have been, maybe if we have had the chance to be able to say, well, children should have made plans for themselves to grow up and not let the parents make sacrifices for them. Let's see if any of us will be where we are today. Honestly.
No, Mr. P, you said something. It's the responsibility of a parent to take care of the child.
Mr. President,
we bring them.
Uncle Shelby, I salute you.
Uncle Aloya like Bobby will fall.
Not like Bobby will fall.
Will fall, yeah. I mean, I believe take care of your parents. That's right, but don't make it a responsibility. Me, I don't think I should make it a responsibility to be responsible rather for my parents. You should set your kids up. It is your responsibility to take care of your child when you bring them to life. It is your responsibility to set them up. There's a reason why I told myself I'm not going to have more than 2. I do not want to bring kids into this world that I will not be able to take care of. Then I'm the most irresponsible person alive. My children should have something to fall back to. I know not all fingers are equal. Yours must not be the shortest. So take care of your kids. Kids, look out for your parents, but you should not make it a responsibility that the children must take care of their parents when they grow old. Come on. The kid will just they grow up. Only like a hustle will not take care of her. Let him or her also set a path for themselves. When you begin to carry the responsibility of taking care of your kids, when do you start? A whole lot of us from Africa, from the African background, I believe.
Perspective that changes when they're no longer around.
Hmm?
Yeah, when your parents are still alive, you have a view of how things should be. But when you no longer have them, you think differently. So you might think, yes, my parents are supposed to set themselves up and it's not my responsibility. That's because they're still around. When they're gone, you look back and think, oh, I wish I, was more responsible for them. Now, in reality, the way we plan and live our lives, we should plan and live our lives in such a way that we're not a burden to our children later in life. So you should have money, you should have a house, yeah? But you see, taking care has many levels. It's not just money. Because I think it's somewhat unfair in a sense for you have a child who's trying to build their life while trying to uphold your life. Right. But for some people, that's just the scenario, that's the situation. And what do? You just have to step up to the plate. But taking care has many levels. So you can have parents who have their own house, who have their own money. But as they get older, there's another level of care that they need. Mm-hmm. And it's the care of interaction, association, and relationship.
Yep.
Where, I remember when I go to my dad at his house, my dad died at 94, and I just sit down with him, and he may not say a word to me after the greeting, but just the fact that I'm there.
Right.
It brings them some joy. They're happy. Mm-hmm. And it's nice for your parents to look at their children when they're all settled and successful and everything, because that's how they're looking at the not so much return on investment, but they're looking at this is the fruit of my labor. This is what I've achieved in raising these children. I mean, I'll tell you something that you'll regret. Spending time, and I have this conversation with Oju from time to time. As your parents get older, spend a lot of time around them.
Time with them. Time.
Because I didn't realize this until, I left home quite early, and I didn't realize how much I needed my parents now as an older person. Mm. You need your parents when you're young, and then you go away and you want to discover the world and you think you're an adult, and then you get to a place where it's like you want to sit down with them and have these conversations, and they're going to be dropping gems on you that will, that will take to the grave.
God will bless you. God will bless you to the point where, like you see this thing that you just said now, I swear, Ellen Oju, I was close to my mom before I relocated to America, right? I was really close to my mom. But you know how it feels when it was just like, oh, maybe it's just my mom. My mom will call me at 3 a.m. in the morning, American time. When she died, my dear, for the next 1.5 years, I was wishing she was calling me at 3 a.m. Yeah. All those 3 a.m. calls that I don't like taking. I just wish, just call me anytime you want. So it wasn't like she needed the money. She didn't need anything. She just needed, like Uncle Sheldon said, that time. If you cannot be physically there, at least let them just hear your voice and say, okay, at least you're fine. That's all the parents want sometimes. I feel like that's part of taking care of them.
But it still does not mean don't take care of your parents. Yeah, I still send money back home. I still do stuff for my parents every time, but I don't see it as my responsibility. But in my heart, I know I still need to take care of them.
Of course.
And sometimes also we can't fault parents sometimes who don't have, because I remember when I was young, I knew parents that were selling their jewelry, selling their lace, so that their children to go and study in good schools abroad. They could have just left you to go to some local university, but they thought no, they want to have the best education.